this drives my partners crazy, but they like the optimism. Is one of them said to me one day, well, X percent of companies fail, whatever, 90%. And I say, yeah, but if I thought that was us, I wouldn't be doing this. And two, what contributed to the failure, right? And that's where I appeal to some of their military thinking is, was it conditions beyond their control? Did they build it? Like, there are so many things. And I'm not saying you can get it to the flip-flop, to the inverse of like 10% failure, but you can surely create a company that has a higher percentage. So, I used to work in the divorce space, and statistics drive me crazy. We're talking about mathematical stuff, and you would hear from people, well, it's a great place to be in lending because 50% of divorces or marriages end in divorce. And I'm like, yes, but what I care about is when. I don't make money on a divorce 10 years from now, right? So when you actually look at the number and strip out socioeconomic numbers and all that, it was like at any given time, maybe between 2.5% to 3.5% of the population in the socioeconomic level that's going to need a mortgage is looking, would fit my client base. Mm-hmm. So it's one of these things where I try and not take statistics that people consider as sacrosanct. I look at it and I say no. And I would have actually providers call me and go, hey, this. And I'm like, no, you're wrong. You don't know that. You obviously didn't research me either because I've written on the subject. But that's where I look at the percentage, and it's almost, how do I make that percentage better, right? Like in the Army, you would look, and if I was in the artillery, right? And let's say we were hitting the enemy, and they would say suppression, destruction. You literally had a mathematical formula. If you eliminated this percent of the enemy's combat power in an artillery barrage, you either the outcome was sort of defined by a set thing. It wasn't just like, it wasn't arbitrary. And I think that's a really good way to think of things. You should always be looking at, what can I do to shape the battlefield or the landscape in business to increase my odds of being successful and decrease my odds of being unsuccessful? And I'm sure people would listen and say, well, no shit. But how many times do people do it in a really deliberate manner? Right? It's like, I should lose weight. Well, yeah, but what are you going to do to make that happen? That's where I think the change happens. And that's where I've just been, again, really fortunate to have people who understand that and say, okay, I'm on it, and we're going to solve things that way.
Yeah, amazing.